Fabien Alain Barthez is a French former footballer who won honours as a goalkeeper with Marseille, Manchester United and the French national team, with whom he won the 1998 FIFA World Cup and Euro 2000 and reached the final of the 2006 World Cup. He shares the record for the most World Cup finals clean sheets with Peter Shilton, with 10. In club football he won the Champions League as well as several Ligue 1 and Premier League titles. Club career, Marseille. Born in La Valannette, France, Barthez made his first division debut for Toulouse on September 21, 1991, against Nancy. He joined Marseille in 1992, and won both the French Championship and the Champions League at the end of his first season in Marseille. The 1993 victory made him the youngest goalkeeper to win a Champions League title until Iker Casillas did so in 2000. However, Marseille would be stripped of their domestic title, though not of the Champions League crown, due to their involvement in a domestic match-fixing scandal, and a year later would suffer a forced relegation to the second division due to a related financial bankruptcy. He stayed with the club in Division 2 for the 1994 Euro 95 season despite many offers from elite French clubs. AS Monaco, in 1995, Barthez joined AS Monaco and won Ligue 1 titles in 1997 and 2000. Manchester United, as a result of Barthez's success in the World Cup and the Euros, he caught the attention of Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson, who was searching for a star goalkeeper to replace the recently departed Peter Schmeichel, as Ferguson did not think that the previous season's keeper, Mark Bosnich, was a long-term replacement. Barthez joined United for £7.8 million in 2000. He was later reunited with national teammate Laurent Blanc, who joined Manchester United in 2001. The Barthez Blanc head-kissing ritual was performed at the start of Champions League matches. Well known for being eccentric, Barthez started out well for Manchester United. His first season was a triumph as he answered all the questions about how he would handle rainy Manchester compared to sunny Monaco. Barthez performed brilliantly throughout the season and became a crowd favourite. The fans loved his eccentric behaviour, his taunting dribbles and step-overs past opposing strikers, and most importantly, his remarkable reaction saves. Very often it was critical saves that kept United from defeat or dropping valuable points, helping United to the 2000 Euro 01 Premier League title, their third in a row. A memorable incident happened when Manchester United faced Leeds United in March 2001. Barthez deliberately kicked out with his foot at Ian Hart, who fell to the floor, on the edge of 6-yard box, and the referee awarded a penalty to Leeds. Hart stepped up but Barthez made a low, one-handed save to his right. The only blemish in his first season was his failed attempt at psyching out West Ham United's Paulo Di Canio in the FA Cup fourth round. Di Canio beat the offside trap, while Barthez stood still with his hand up expecting the referee to blow his whistle, or Di Canio to stop. Di Canio continued and scored the only goal of the game, and later said it was better to score and then see whether the goalkeeper is right or wrong. The 2001 Euro 02 season was split into two parts for him. The first half was a nightmare. The Frenchman seemed to be taking some unnecessary risks outside his penalty area, and his antics began to have consequences that allowed unneeded goals for opposing teams. He was at fault for 2 goals in a 3-2 home defeat by Deportivo La Coruña in October 2001. Ferguson said how eventually he will get caught out, and it wouldn't happen again. But another couple of late errors against Arsenal in a 3-1 defeat at Highbury the following month put much pressure on Barthez, with 2 goals gifted to Thierry Henry. There was much speculation as to what was the source of Barthez's decline, and critics such as the BBC's Phil McNulty urged him to be dropped. However, Sir Alex Ferguson had faith in his goalkeeper and stuck by him. Consequently, in the second half of the season, Barthez repaired his reputation with consistent, solid performances and the spectacular saves that he was famous for. His turn in fortunes was shown in a 2-2 draw with Derby County at Pride Park. Derby forward Malcolm Christie looked to have sealed his hat-trick, but referee Steve Dunn controversially disallowed the goal, ruling that kicked the ball out of Barthez's hands. He was also noted for playing mind games before opposition players took a penalty. The first time this occurred was in November 2001 when Leicester City came to Old Trafford. As Eze prepared to take a penalty, Barthez stood aside from the goal, with his hands behind him on the post. Eze, tired of waiting, slotted the ball in the bottom corner, but referee Andy D'Urso made him retake the penalty, this time with Barthez in goal. Eze went the same way, but Barthez denied him with a fine save to his right. An almost identical incident happened less than a year later in October 2002, when Barthez was unhappy about the awarding of a penalty to Fulham, and so went from post to post banging his boots, and refused to be in goal for the penalty. This time he was booked for his antics by referee Mike Dean, and so he took his place between the posts and made it work again by saving Steve Melbrank's spot kick. The 2002-03 season ended with another Premier League crown for United. The season was a mixed bag for Barthez. One highlight was a fabulous save to deny Diet Mohammed's 30-yard rocket at Anfield as United held on to win 2-1. In other games, he let goals go past him that shouldn't have. Barthez was also widely criticised in United's exit to Real Madrid in the Champions League, especially for Ronaldo's opener which beat him at the near post. It would prove to be his last ever game with United as Sir Alex Ferguson's patience had finally run out. Barthez was dropped for the final 3 games of the season, with Roy Carroll taking his place. Returned to Marseille, in October 2003, after American newcomer Tim Howard won the starting goalkeeper's job from Barthez, United agreed to release Barthez from his contract at Old Trafford after the 2003-04 season, and also agreed to loan Barthez out to Marseille for the remainder of that season. However, FIFA blocked the loan deal on the grounds that it was not agreed upon within the international transfer window. The two clubs agreed on a loan deal after the transfer window reopened on January 1, 2004, and Barthez joined Marseille soon afterwards. On April 27, Marseille and Barthez agreed to a 2.5-year contract which would keep him at the club until spring 2006. Barthez was involved in a controversy during a friendly match between OM and Morocco's Wydad Casablanca on February 12, 2005. With 10 minutes left, an OM player was sent off, and a brawl erupted between players on the pitch. Barthez was reported for spitting on the Moroccan referee. On April 21, Barthez was summoned to a hearing before the disciplinary committee of the French Football Federation. The following day, he received a 6-month suspension, with the last 3 months being suspended. In an unusual move, the Federal Council of the FFF appealed the suspension, arguing that the punishment should have been for a minimum of 6 full months. Eventually, his suspension was extended to 6 full months due to political pressures. Retirement. On August 8, 2006, Barthez announced he was still hoping to play professional football for another 2 years, insisting he was also looking to continue his career in the French international setup. His ideal scenario would have been a return to first club Toulouse, where he could be close enough to allow him to take care of his sick mother. But he said if he did not have a club by August 31 he would not carry on with football. On October 5, 2006 it was confirmed that he had retired from football, having failed to agree a return to Toulouse. Barthez commented, "The only club I wanted to go to was not so happy to have me. It happens and you have to live with it. Come back." On December 17, 2006, Barthez announced his return to football by signing a contract with French Ligue 1 side FC Nantes Atlantique, who were lacking an experienced goalkeeper following Mikel Landreau's move to Paris Saint-Germain the previous summer. Serb goalkeeper Vladimir Stojkovic, originally recruited to replace Landreau, failed to impress and left Nantes at the winter break following a rift within the squad. On April 29, Nantes chairman Rudy Roussillon announced that following an altercation with a Nantes fan, Barthez had left the city with his family. The next day, Barthez confirmed that he had quit the team, and the club terminated his contract. Barthez denied that he was planning to retire, and in an article for French daily La Permail Cup, he said that he was looking for another contract for at least 2 years. Since then Barthez has been linked with numerous clubs but nothing has ever materialized and he had to face never playing professional football again. Luznac. In 2012, Barthez became the honorary president of Championat National Team US Luznac, where he personally picked Quentin Westberg and Nicolas Deus to sign for the club. International career. Early international career. On May 26, 1994, he won his first cap for France against Australia. Though Barthez was understudy to Bernard Lama at Euro 1996, a Euro at which France reached the semi-finals, a Euro he gained the number one goalkeeping position shortly afterwards and would not relinquish it for a decade. 1998 World Cup. In the 1998 World Cup, which was hosted by his home country, Barthez conceded only 2 goals in 7 games and won the Ashin Award as the best goalkeeper of the tournament. Barthez was also well known during the tournament for letting teammate and good friend Laurent Blanc kiss his shaved head before the start of every match, supposedly for good luck. Barthez was an integral part of his national team's inaugural triumph, which also made it the first time in 20 years that a host had won the World Cup. The highlight being a 3-0 clean sheet against defending champions Brazil in the finals. During the game, Barthez made a spectacular save on Brazilian superstar Ronaldo, doing his trademark leap step over the attacking striker to grab the ball, which injured Ronaldo in the process. Barthez was afterwards one of the most popular national players in France, second to Zinedine Zidane. 2000 European Championship. 2 years later, Barthez was again the starter as his country won Euro 2000. It was the first time in over 20 years that a national team held both the World Cup and Euro titles, a feat last accomplished by West Germany in 1974. After that triumph, France held the top position in the FIFA World Ranking System from 2001 to 2002. 2002 and 2004 World Cup and Euro. He played on France's World Cup team again in 2002, in which they exited in the first round without winning a game or scoring a goal. He was also the starter in Euro 2004, saving David Beckham's penalty shot in the round-robin, but France went out in the quarter-finals to eventual winners Greece. 2006 World Cup. His place as starting goalkeeper in France's 2006 FIFA World Cup campaign, in the face of a substantial public campaign in support of GRA copyright Gori Koupit, was surprising to many, even more so given Koupit's flawless performance in the remainder of the World Cup qualifying campaign after Barthez's suspension. The decision was met with derision in the French press and also led to Koupit's walking out of the national squad before the tournament, though he was to return 1 day later. The move was viewed by some as a desire to keep the veterans of France's 1998 World Cup victory on the team. L'Equipe reported after the World Cup that Barthez would have walked out of the squad had he not been named the starter. France had a slow start in the group stage, drawing their first 2 games and putting their playoff chances at risk. Fortunately, Barthez's team found their form and won their final round-robin match 2-0 to advance to the next stage, where they upset heavily favoured Spain 3-1 in the round of 16. In defeating Brazil, 1-0 on July 1, 2006, Barthez, having made only 1 save in the game, became the first keeper to blank the Brazilian team in consecutive World Cup finals matches, the first being the 1998 final. France is now one of only 4 nations to have shut Brazil out twice in the World Cup finals, and the first to have done it in consecutive matches, both times with Barthez in goal. Barthez again kept a clean sheet in the semi-final against Portugal, though he appeared in questionable form. A few minutes from time, he spectacularly spilled a free kick which Luis Figo recovered, heading over the bar although unchallenged. He did, however, redeem himself in injury time when a French defender fumbled the ball, enabling a Portuguese player to mount a last-moment attack. Barthez scrambled out of the net and blocked the first shot. During the final against Italy, he briefly captained his team for the remainder of the second period of extra time after Zidane was sent off. During the penalty shootout, neither he nor his Italian counterpart Gianluigi Buffon made a save, and France striker David Trezeguet's missed shot ultimately proved decisive. Motorsport career. After retiring from football in 2007, Barthez began a career in motorsport in 2008. He began competing at selected events in the Porsche Carrera Cup France that year with the team Sofrite Autosport promotion. He also competed at 2 events in the THP Spider Cup. In 2009, he raced in a number of various motorsport series such as the French GT Championship, by Racing Series and the Caterham Sigma Cup France as well as the Porsche Carrera Cup France. He continued to race in the FFSA GT Championship in 2010 and picked up his first podium in race 1 at Dijon-Prenois. In the 2012 season he won his first race in the FFSA Series at the Circuito de Navarra in race 2 and finished 7th in the championship. In 2013 he was crowned French GT champion alongside Morgan Moulin-Traffert, driving a Ferrari. In 2013 he also competed in the newly rebranded FIA GT Series alongside GAR copyright Rad Tonelli in the Gentleman Trophy class with Sophroy ASP driving a GT3 spec Ferrari 458 Italia. In February 2014 it was announced that Barthez would be entered into the 2014 24 Hours of Le Mans, driving Sophroy ASP's Ferrari 458. Barthez and his co-drivers finished 29th overall and 9th in LMGT-EM class. Honours: Club, Marseille, UEFA Champions League, 1992 Euro 93, AS Monaco, Ligue 1, 1996 Euro 97, 1999 Euro 2000, Trophée Copyright E-Day Champions, 1997, Manchester United, Premier League, 2000 Euro 01, 2002 Euro 03, International, FIFA World Cup, 1998, UEFA European Championship, 2000, FIFA Confederations Cup, 2003, Individual, FIFA World Cup Yashin Award, 1998, FIFA World Cup All-Star Team, 1998, Ligue 1 Goalkeeper of the Year, 1998. European Footballer of the Year Best Goalkeeper, 1998, 2000, IFFHS World's Best Goalkeeper, 2000, UEFA Euro Team of the Tournament, 2000, PFA Premier League Team of the Year, 2000 Euro 01, Orders, Chevalier of the La Copyright Guin d'Honneur, 1998, Records, Most Capped France Goalkeeper, 87, All-Time France FIFA World Cup Appearances, 17, Most FIFA World Cup Clean Sheets, 10, Statistics. Racing Record, FIA GT Series Results, 24 Hours of Le Mans Results, Notes. External links, Fabien Barthez on Soxaway.